I want to perform energization steps, meaning I want to activate my feeder. Let's integrate everything we've talked about. All right, great. Let's assume everything is ready and I want to energize. Then I need to think about where to start from the very bottom and work my way up. The first thing I need to ensure is, you were talking to me about the capacitor bank, right? Yes. So you need to make sure that the gate of the capacitor bank's fence is closed and that you have taken the key from it. That's number one. That's the second thing. The second thing is to place the key into key holder key 3. You will then return to your cell where you have the place called the key holder, where you insert your key. You insert the key and turn it to the trapped position, which means you have secured the key. In this case, it will allow you to move the knob of the earth switch from C to B, which opens the insertion hole where you will insert the end of the earth switch to open the earth switch. So you moved it from C to B, engage the action activating crank, and turn it to the lift to open the air switch. Engage means to insert. Action internet means to insert. The hand crank, which is the handle or lever that you insert into this insertion hole to open the earth. And you always turn it counterclockwise to open, clockwise to close. But the instructions are not standard. The direction of rotation is marked in front of you in the life of the cruise and the qubit. And finally, verify that the switch is off. Look up at the indication lamp to see if the switch is completely open or okay. Now let's hold the breaker and first ensure that the breaker is off. Even if it is off, press the open button to make sure it is off. Okay, perfect. Then connect the plug of the wire to the breaker. Once it's connected, make sure the isolator switch is off. Just ensure it's not just off and done. It should be in the correct position. When you have the lock in place, you can be sure the isolator switch is open and no one will come back to close it. Verify if the redundant circuit breaker, redundant key, forget about it. Verify that the password ear switch is open. You must ensure that the password ear switch is open. Otherwise, if it is closed, the key won't allow you. But I'm telling you, think about how the interlock works. If you know the correct operating steps, you'll know if someone asks you about the breaker, what do you think or what to consider? So I'm telling you, verify the busbar ear switch, whether the busbar ear switch is open. Okay, make sure. Move the circuit breaker cranking lever from H to F. So if I move it from H to F and it doesn't work, I look at the previous steps. Maybe the busbar ear switch is closed, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe the key for the capacitor bank is not present and is in the trapped position, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. So the steps before this are the ones that organize each other. Move it from HLF, yes, open the circuit breaker insertion and withdrawal screw cover, meaning you open the cover that gives you the hole where you insert the handle to start racking in or racking out the circuit breaker, okay? After that, insert the handle into the hand crank, turn it well, meaning turn it clockwise to rack in the circuit breaker. Continue racking in until it tells you, meaning until you feel it has become easy in your hand with no more resistance. This means it has taken the tension, just racking in. But that's not all. Look at the lamp in your panel to see if the breaker is racked in or not. If it indicates the breaker is in, remove the handle, close the gate again, and now you are ready to operate and close the breaker as you are. From the rotation, 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 as you like, very good. Okay, then we come to the maintenance. I want to do maintenance, so I will do the opposite. What will I do? Oh, it's not a closed breaker. First, open the breaker, so ensure the circuit breaks. Oh, perfect, very good. Open the cover of the insertion hole, insert the handle of the breaker, and rack it out. Nice. Turn it counterclockwise, which is counter to the clock, and rack it out. You have racked it out. So where is the breaker now? In the test position. You will keep racking it out until you find that it becomes easy for you with no resistance on the handle you are turning. On the handle that you are, that you are turning. The circuit breaker is in the test position until you find the handle is easy for you. Make sure of the indication lamp on the panel that the breaker is racked out correctly. Then what do? Remove the hand crank from its place. No problem there. That's great. Okay. And then I want to close the IRS. What is the IRS switch? Don't forget to add another step here. You must bring it to the hold position. But if you don't bring it to the hold, it's not a problem because there is a modification. Both of them are for Q seal and check on it, which is the dogma you added extra. He told you to make sure the breaker is in the test position. I said, yes, that's good, perfect. Then he told you to confirm the cables are not energized by checking the CVI. I added this information myself as extra, all right? But what are you going to do? We agreed that there should be a timer, right? And this timer lasts for 10 minutes. So I'm telling you that in order to move your knob from A to B, you wait 10 minutes after the breaker is in the open state. So what is this CVI, Engineer Rashad? Yes, CVI engineers stands for capacitor voltage indicator, which is the device you see in front of you. With it, you can measure the voltage present on your output, on your cables. It will display a symbol like this. If there is electricity on the feeder, it will show you a symbol like this. It will show you a symbol like this and another symbol like that, indicating which phase has electricity. It doesn't tell you the amount of electricity. It doesn't display numbers. So what is the purpose of the capacitor voltage indicator? The capacitor voltage indicator, guys, is just for this purpose. I will also show it to you in the video here. Okay, what do you learn? The last thing is connecting between the stationary number. I can place a phototransformer, which is a cable from below the release, in addition to a current transformer. And the last part is where you can see here, you have this like that. What about the Qureshi capacitor? Of course, this part is a bushing, and here are the terminals. Oh, say, it takes them from the cable itself or from the termination where the cable is mounted. Inside here, it connects to something called a capacitor voltage divider. The purpose of the capacitor voltage divider is entirely simple. Even the young people who attended with us saw this as a VT, and they saw this as a capacitor voltage transformer. What is it exactly? It consists of having something like this, guys, where you have this capacitor here, all right, and then it goes up like this. You have another capacitor in this manner, and then it goes like this, and here you have your ground. All right, very good. So the whole idea is that it connects with the cable section through this point. And it has two capacitors like this to perform a step down of the voltage and measure the quality between this terminal and the ground terminal. It takes this terminal with the ground, connects this terminal here to L1, and there is a similar capacitor connecting to L2 and a capacitor connecting to L3. And where does the last terminal go? It goes to the ground. So now this is essentially a voltage transformer, but it operates through capacitors. Why? For cost-saving purposes. Instead of bringing a voltage transformer with coils and such, it is more economical to use two capacitors. These capacitors divide the voltage between them so that the voltage here is small, just to indicate whether you have voltage present on your cable or not. All right, so why did I use this capacitor voltage indicator, or why is this important? Simply put, as soon as you open the breaker and wait 10 minutes, the capacitor is supposed to discharge its internal charge through its internal resistance, right? You said yes. So in this case, what should happen is that the capacitor should completely discharge its charge within 10 minutes. But what if after 10 minutes, there was, for example, a problem with the capacitor itself and it didn't discharge its charge, and then you went to ground it? That's why, for extra safety, I provide you with this, and all you have to do is check whether it reads voltage or not. It indicates whether it is energized, whether there is voltage present or not. So as soon as you open the breaker, you will see electrical indicators. And after 10 minutes, these indicators should disappear. Also, you have the option here to press on it to ensure whether the screen might be faulty. Press on it to confirm whether the screen is functioning properly or not. So here, confirm whether the cable is energized or not. Ensure the cables are not carrying voltage using the capacitor voltage indicator. All right, after waiting for the 10 minutes, it tells you to move from A to B. Once you've moved from A to B, now the insertion hole is open in front of you, right? If I'm wrong, correct me. After you've made this move, it tells you what to do next. You will attach your handle and press on it. All right, there's no need for that anymore. You are pressing on it to move from A to B and to close what? To close the ground, right? Good. After you've closed the ground, there should be an indication light above you showing that the ground is closed. Then move from B to C. Once you've moved from B to C, you'll find that the switch for the capacitor bank has activated. You will need to take the key from the trap to what? To 3. Take the key, go open the gate, and you can start working while you are in the seal position.